Hey everybody, so I don't know if you've seen Spider-Man Far From Home, but in it there's a scene that was actually pitched by one of the actors, Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man. And when I saw that clip, I thought, man, this is something that we as creatives, especially if you design e-learning, this is something we should truly embrace. And what I want to do is I want to get into his process, how he did it, and think, how can we apply that same kind of boldness and creative gusto to the projects that we're doing, all right? So basically, make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to get into some details about why this is so important for us as learning designers, e-learning developers, and all that stuff. So if you don't know me, first time in the channel, my name is Sabramowicz, and I design interactive stories, and I coach people how to do that. Now, I'm always looking for ways to see how creatives can like break through that wall, because I think a lot of us are kind of like stuck in this, heck, I was there. When you have an idea in you, it's burning, you see something you could see being done better, and you hold back. And I want to tell you how Tom pitched this idea and how we can all kind of borrow from that. So I'll have some tips for you. What Tom did is, while the movie was actually being filmed, he thought of a sequence that was pretty fun. And it was actually the sequence that is the bell tower where Spider-Man stands up, he gets hit by the bell on the head, he stands up again, the bell hits him in the head again. So what he did is he thought of that sequence, then he filmed it on his iPhone with his brother, and then he showed it to the director, and the director thought it was amazing, and they incorporated it into the movie. It actually made the final cut, which is huge, right? Which, like, amazing. Right in the middle of filming, which is fantastic. And what I want you to think about is that Tom didn't say, I don't have a film crew, I don't have a budget, it's gonna make me look stupid, it's unprofessional, it's low tech, you know, all those things. He just threw them out the window. And then what he did is he just created something for the director to see. That's very important, because I think in our world, e-learning development, it's prototypes, right? It's all prototypes. That's what creative projects are for us. We build things, we build products, we build software, and then we pitch it. And one of the things that I think was so clear to me that that is important for us to embody and embrace is that he didn't write up a script and then show the script and be like, can we add this to the script? He said, I can show this, I can only show how fun and cool this is going to be if I actually take the time to film and cut that sequence up. And he did. And we have to do the same thing, because it's so hard for stakeholders to imagine what this sequence and how the interaction is going to work from a Word doc, from a linear page, right? It's not going to be the same. And this is what I think is like, boom, you are like so ahead of the game. You don't need a film crew. You don't need an audience of millions. You probably don't have an audience of millions. You don't need a huge budget. This is the thing. You have software. Any software in the world, basically, you can have on trial for 7 days, usually, right? So you can build something very quickly. The time is just yours, really. And the other thing is that, you know, when you're designing things, and this is my tips for you kind of with the prototype piece, is when you're designing a prototype, the goal of the prototype is not to be like the thing. It is not the, you know, most times it doesn't make the final cut. The goal of the prototype is to be thrown away, but it is there to show somebody what is possible, and it is there to give them the idea of the gameplay, of the mechanic of that piece, how that's going to work. And that's very, very important, because when somebody gets that feeling, because they can't imagine it, nobody nerds out on e-learning. I mean, you're watching this channel, nobody nerds out on this stuff like we do, right? And so it's important that you show them. Even if you think that they get it, show them. Now, with prototypes, they're meant to be thrown away. Now, how can you ensure that? By not spending a ton of time on it. You spend an hour max developing that prototype, and then showing it, and then saying, okay, because I didn't invest too much time in it, I'm not too sensitive about the feedback I'm going to get about it. I'm not too sensitive about the fact that maybe all of it is wrong. But what you're doing is you're kind of like throwing that spaghetti up against the wall and seeing what sticks. And one of the things you have to think about is that creatives like us, I think a lot of us get stuck in perfectionism, and perfectionism is a form of procrastination. It is not about, I have to put out a perfect product. It's because you're scared to put it out. And the more you practice doing that, the thicker that skin you develop, and the more you realize it's not going to be as painful as you thought, because you didn't invest as much time and effort into it. When you pitch an idea, maybe 1 out of 10 will come back as, you know, hey, that's a great idea. We love that. The stakeholders like, whoever your stakeholder is. It's like, oh yeah, this rocks, this resonates, even if it's mid-production, who cares? Sometimes what happens is as you learn more about process, as you learn more about the people involved in that process, as you observe them, especially as you design learning, is you realize that the intent is still there, that North Star is still there, but the way that you're going to approach that is going to be different. And you've thought of something in the moment because you design interactions that you say, I could actually augment this and make it even better this way. Let's do this. So keep on doing that. Keep on pitching those ideas. Like I said, 1 out of 10 might be done. But that's how, when you think about creatives, like Picasso, he painted a painting a day every single day for like 5 years or something like that. But how many Picassos do you really know as like sticking out in your mind? Maybe, well, for some of us, maybe one, right? So really, he was just pitching. He was just pitching ideas and getting better at his craft. And that's all that was. The other thing I want you to think about what a prototype will do for you is it gets you comfortable pitching creative ideas. It makes you the trusted advisor, the one who brave enough to say, hey, I'm the idea person and I've got an idea. And guess what? I've taken the initiative to actually build something for you to experience. That to me speaks volumes. And even if where you're at, that's not appreciated, it doesn't matter. You're doing it for you. Here's the other thing. You will be able to go to bed at night knowing that you pitched that idea, that you didn't hold it back. How many of us die, and I know this sounds kind of cliche, but how many of us die with those ideas inside our heads that they say that the richest place in the world is the cemetery, right? Because all of the ideas are buried there. Don't be that person. If you found this useful and if there's things that resonated with you or you're struggling with something, leave me a comment because I'll make more videos about specific topics related to even comments. I love hearing from you, see where you're at, if this resonates, if you're already doing and applying these things, if you've seen Spider-Man and you enjoyed that movie. So make sure you also subscribe so you don't miss a single video, and you like the video if you enjoyed it so that I know that I should make more of these about these practical things about how you can be a more creative e-learning designer and developer. So until next time, friends, see you later. Bye.